Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Joshua Smith. I am a realtor in Tennessee and Alabama, and we're going to go over renting versus buying, what that looks like. Not necessarily why you should do it, but there are definitely some tools out there that can help you decide whether you are renting or buying in the next phase of your life. Hopefully something like this will help you out. We're going to cover just a couple of quick tools that are from a lender, which is always a good tool to have because any information you can get from lenders about how they do things and what they look for, always handy. Let's go ahead and dive right in, shall we? What's up? My name is Joshua Smith. I'm with the Home Agent Group. I want to talk to you about what you're up to and how we can expand together.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and you can cut this if you need to.
What's the highlight of our entire trip?
So for these tools, we're going to be looking at Rocket Mortgage. You've probably heard about it. Rocket Mortgage calculators, rent versus buy. There's the first one. But then also Rocket Mortgage rent rewards. Those are the big ones. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do is look at this rent versus buy calculator. Now the rent versus buy calculator is a cool, handy tool, and theirs is probably the best of any that I've seen in recent years in terms of just sort of guessing and letting you know about how much equity you would gain if you owned your home. First and foremost, what is equity? Equity is the difference between the value of your home and what your loan is. So it's the cash value of ownership that you have. So you buy a $500,000 home with a $100,000 down payment. You've got $100,000 in cash in that home. That is your equitable value, as long as the appraisal value is exactly $500,000, because your loan is $400,000. Makes sense? All right, so that's equity. Now, this rent versus buy calculator, really the biggest benefit to something like this is it shows you exactly how much equity you would have versus the indebtedness you would have with no equity for renting. Because see, the thing is, people don't think about rent goes up every time you move, it seems like, but it does go up. It accumulates year over year. In the Nashville markets that I work in, 4% year over year. It's been more in the recent couple of years, but you estimate 3 to 5% or more, depending on the market that you're in, how much rent will increase over time. I had a friend in Hollywood who had a rent lock on a Hollywood apartment. He'd been there since like 1979, right under Runyon and the Hollywood Bowl and everything else. Fantastic location, little bitty studio apartment, was still paying like $450 a month for it. He ended up letting that go. I don't know why he did. If you got a rent rate like that locked somewhere in Manhattan or something, then, you know, keep renting. Maybe you can sublease it so you have somewhere you can go when you come back to that part of town. I don't know. But buying is always a good idea because obviously you're gaining equity. So that's really the difference, and that's why you want to look at a calculator like this if you're trying to make that decision. So, purchase price, $377,000, that's not realistic. So what I'm going to do is go over here and plug in like Davidson County, Williamson County. Those are the two most popular greater Nashville areas. Also Wilson County is big. I've been hearing about a lot of, Wilson County is Mount Juliet, Lebanon, these places, there's a lot of developments happening. Sumner County, that's where I live. It's Hendersonville, it's just north of the lake. Gallatin, a lot of great neighborhoods up here to live in. White House has been getting a lot of love lately. Let's just search that out. I think this is a pretty good starting point. Okay, so sales price average that's highlighted in blue, yeah, 790, 800,000 for the average sale of homes. But the sales price median, what we're looking for is the median. So if you go on Zillow or anywhere that you can search for homes, if you don't have access to or don't know exactly what your direct MLS is in your area, I service North Alabama as well. That's Valley MLS. There's a few other Alabama MLSs that, you know, Valley feeds into or feeds from. Around here though, RealTrax is the MLS. So I'm going to go straight to the source and get this information, but you can too. Just go to Zillow, look for the type of home that you want. 2 bedroom, 3 bath, house between 1,500 and 1,800 square feet. It's a great starter home. Maybe you want a basement, maybe you want a garage, maybe you want a yard, I don't know. Put all that stuff into your search criteria and look for what houses in the areas that you want to be in cost. Then you can average those out to get your cost, but you really want a good cost, a good starting point for how much these homes cost that you are thinking about purchasing. So let's ride right over here. 570 for, this is across all the counties. If I look at Davidson County in particular, yeah, 520, that makes sense. Up to 730 for the sales. Yeah, because you got a wide range. So looking at these medians, Williamson is $1 million. That sounds about right. 530 for Wilson and 450 for Sumner. So this gives you a good idea of how, as you go to different places around Nashville, if you're looking at Nashville in particular, these price points are going to change pretty dramatically. But if you take like these three lower numbers, 520, 30, and then 450, I'm just going to throw in 500 as a median for all of those because it's a round number. It's easy to remember. We talked about it earlier. Oops. And it should give us a good starting point here. It is a good median value for the case study, right? Down payment, 700. What does that look like for? Yeah, 15%. I mean, that's totally reasonable. 20% if you want to put that down, but you don't have to. It's common misconception. It doesn't take 20% of a down payment to buy a home. Let's change this to 10% just to make it a little bit safer of a cash. Oops, I don't want. What am I doing? Where did all the zeros come from? All right, 10% down payment. 720 or above. Yeah, you can actually select what range you're in, but 720 and above is going to get you the best rate. So if you're saving up and this is like a part of your journey, focus on raising your credit score up. Maybe I should do a video on different ways to do that. It's a little bit off topic, but there are some, not shortcuts, but great ways to just make some nominal payoffs and move some money around to increase your credit score. Handy tips. Ask your lender. Talk to a lender like Rocket Mortgage, a mortgage lender who does this specific type of lending, and they'll give you those same tips. 7.25 interest rate. I feel like that's high even for right now. I'm gonna leave it because this is a lender and they're guessing high right now. I don't know if this is actually based on today's mortgage rates, but you can get it as low, I know right now, as around 6%, just above 6% for an FHA loan. This is more of a conventional rate loan. You can buy the rate down a little bit if you have a little bit more upfront money, and we'll get into that in a second. So monthly rent, $3,000. Sure, sounds good for this market. Let me pull this back to zero. That should be $50,000. If this is after 0 years, within the first year, maybe this is how much you're going to grow within the first year based on like how much equity does grow month over month, year over year as the market changes. Let's look at, so this is your home equity, how much, again, the difference between your loan and the value of your home. They're saying that this cost is actually going up for maybe what they're saying is this is how much that could go up as rates change and as home prices increase, how much you'd be paying month over month for a mortgage at that time, at that given time. Or it could change with escrow. Your escrow can go up because your taxes can go up. Maybe that's the factor. But yeah, rent is going to go up way more than your mortgage is going to go up month over month, year over year. So the longer you wait, the harder it is. There is a big difference the further you go, but also if you go back up to this home equity, I mean, 15, 20 years of home equity, your equity just went far past what your purchase price was on the home, which is fantastic. And it costs money because of the way that these interest rates work. You're going to spend way more money on that home in interest than you're going to get in the value of it, probably, unless you were able to pay it off quicker. One way to do that is to just make one extra payment toward your principal balance, not the interest, but just the principal balance every year. So If your mortgage is $3,000 a month, in December you get that bonus, throw $3,000 into that mortgage. You can pull your loan back by 7 years. So a 30-year loan becomes a 23-year loan, for example. So just doing that year over year. Good thing to do, good thing, if you can, a great way to sort of get the most out of your home over time. But even with that cost, you're making so much in equity as an asset, as the value in your home does increase over time. If it's sinking, if it's going down in value from where you bought it, it would be a very unhealthy, unstable market. But the real estate market is strong, and it does typically grow in value in these homes that you can purchase. So considering all the risk involved, I think it's good to hold on. If you have a 20% down payment, you might only put 10 down now and then put more down later when you have a little bit more cash. You can always refinance later for lower rates. You can always recast your note if you have greater than a 20% down payment at any point in time. You can pay that towards your principal balance and have the bank recast if they'll do it. Some lenders, there are caveats to it. There's caveats to everything. I'm trying to stay on topic. I've only done one tool, so let's move on from here because I think that we did a good job of explaining what this calculator does. Lord, how far into the video are we? All right, so you could save thousands on a home of your own, Rocket Mortgage says. Get started with rent rewards. What is rent rewards? They're giving you 10% of your rent as a credit toward closing costs. So closing cost estimates, they actually have them, wait, where were they? Over here, you can look at what some of these closing cost estimates are. On a $500,000 loan, they're saying your closing costs alone could be $15,000. But you also have taxes that you have to consider because you're going to prepay taxes. They're going to prorate it, and you're going to pay, you're basically giving the seller money for taxes that they paid to the date that you purchased the home. Okay, so prorated difference. And then what, homeowners insurance? Yeah, this is super low for homeowners insurance on a $500,000. I mean, I guess it depends on the market and what you get, but $2,500, maybe $2,000 probably per month. These are escrowed amounts that can and will change over time, absolutely will change over time, and will probably go up because they do. So that's where these numbers, this monthly cost, I think, will effectively change. Let me go down here. Get rewarded for renting. Oh, there's the ad. There's the ad. I found it. It's on both pages. So I guess just go to this one page because you can see their calculator and then obviously get more information about rent rewards. I don't really know anything about this program and I'm not promoting it. They're not like a sponsor of this channel or anything like that. In fact, shop around to different lenders. What I love about a program like this is they're upfront telling you you can make 10% of whatever you're paying for rent across a 12-month period toward your home loan. Now, that's in reading the brief details. I don't know if it's specifically a 12-month period or if it goes up to a 24-month period. It would be great if you could do this for 5 years, or we want to buy homes before 5 years from now. So call it 2.5 years, or 18 months, whenever it is that your goal date is. If you could just collect rent from now, collect 10% of your rent toward closing costs as an incentive to buy using this specific lender, I say sign up for it. Go for it. Get in the program now because it'll probably beat out what a lot of lenders can offer you when you do go to purchase. There is a ton of lender competition out there right now because rates are so high and people have, a lot of different choices about lenders. You can shop your agents, you can shop your lenders. Once you're in a contract even, you can shop around for different lenders. Sometimes you have to change lenders in the middle of a deal just because the financing has to change because of the condition of the home or whatever. There's a lot of different reasons why that can happen. It's just good to have various options. Sign up for anything that will help you not just save money, but actually grow the money that you can use. Not all money that is usable and beneficial to you is living in your bank account. Some of it is in incentives like this. So, great program. I like it a lot. Checks out for me in terms of something that you should definitely be using in your home purchasing decision-making process and journey. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If it was, like, subscribe. Whether it was or it wasn't, I'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment below, and maybe I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.